I'm going to run this through a filter. Okay? And here's the filter. And I'm going to ask you a simple question. Number one, what do you believe? That's your revelation and conviction. I'm going to ask you why you believe it. That's what I'm thinking. I may not say it, but I'm thinking it. I'm going to ask you what actions will you create as a result of your belief. I'm going to ask you what differentiates you in your message. I'm going to ask you, give me some success. Like, you telling me you're good. Show me. Okay? Then there's going to be a call to action to something. You would never see me do an interview or podcast or video without sharing a variation of this formula. What do you hear me say? Amanda, I believe everybody needs a coach in their life. Why do I believe that? Jason Duncan already said it. Because you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. Because of that belief, I help people, right, bring clarity from their confusion, find and feel their missing structures, grow 43% in a one-year cycle. Everybody see that? I got a belief. I believe everybody needs a coach in life. I believe a good coach can change your life. I believe those that have a coach earn 3 and 4 times the amount of money than those that don't. Everybody see? Now, notice how clear I am in my beliefs. Why is this critical when you're speaking? Okay, now let me show you a trick I use when I speak. I get right up on stage and I say, my name's Coach Michael Burt, and I believe everybody needs a coach in life. How many of you have ever had a good coach? Now, raise your hand if you've ever had a good coach. Now, y'all are the people who are most likely to buy my books.
Yep. We already believe it.
How fast did I know that?
In 30 seconds.
As soon as I introduced myself. Why? We believe the same things. Everybody see how fast I know that? You would never see me speak on any stage without leading with that. Some people lead with questions. I do not like leading with questions. I don't like starting my presentation. I say, I want you to start with a question. I'm going to ask you a big question. Because I think the audience many times is intellectually lazy. They want me to do the work. They don't want to get in. It's like, oh, here we go. This dude's going to ask me questions. I like getting up on a stage with a bunch of energy, saying, here's what I believe. Let me tell you why I believe it. Let me tell you what it is we're going to do today. Okay? Now, if I'm giving a presentation, let's say I'm on, this is a funny story that was, I was on Good Day New York one day. And in New York, there's about a bunch of people. You say you're from New York? Okay, you ever watch Good Day New York? Okay, a lot of people watch that in New York City, like 1 million people. And they told me before I went on, there's going to be like 1 million people watching you. Tony Bennett was in front of me, if that tells you anything. And the guy on the Chop Network was behind me. And I was there promoting my book, Everybody Needs a Coach in Life, the book we gave you. And I get on this talk show, and they prep me for the questions they were going to ask before the interview. They're going to ask you this, they're going to ask you this, they're going to ask you this, they're going to ask you this. So it's live. So you're back in the green room. Then they come back there and they get you, and it's like all this energy, and it's like, oh my gosh, 1 million people are watching right now, and I got to be good. And they're throwing these, and I'm sitting there looking at the teleprompter, and guess what? They didn't ask me one question they were supposed to ask me. Teleprompter's going, ask this, ask Coach Burt this. The questions they had prepared me for. And this dude on Good Day New York just is all over the place. He's asking me this, well, what do you think about this, Coach Burt? Now, here's the trick. Because I have this, there is nothing he could throw at me that I wasn't ready for. Right? So he throws me a question. Great. I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you what I believe about that. Let me tell you why I believe it. What do you think a good coach does? Let me show you what a good coach does. Everybody see that? Now, you probably wonder what makes me different than all the other coaches in the world. There's 2 or 3 things. I'm a former championship women's basketball coach. I was a deep disciple of Covey's work. I understand how to activate the whole person, activate the prey drive in a person. So what I'm doing is I'm answering these questions. What do you think the interviewers are doing?
Tell me more.
Now, how many of you have ever done a podcast with a person and they were skeptical of you before, and then you get in the podcast, and at some moment there's like a, dang, this dude's good. You ever had that before? I had that with Brad Lee. My buddy Brad Lee founded Lightspeed. I went out to Lightspeed. I was relatively unknown. He had me on his interview. He kind of He didn't show up to dinner the night before because he didn't think I was that big time of a person. And then he has me on this interview the next day, and he's asking me these questions, and he's like, dang, like, you're good. Like, you need to be training my team. You know what? That was the moment I won him over.
Yep.
Now, part of winning another person over is I'm interviewing you, and here's what I'm sensing. This dude has a philosophy. He knows what he believes. He knows why he believes it. He knows what he does as a result of his belief. He knows how he does it different than everybody else on planet Earth. He can cite success stories. How many of y'all have heard me talk about Tommy Davidson in my coaching program? He was how many of you ever heard me say he went from number 46, the top real estate agent I'm coaching was number 46 in the market, and I helped him go to number 4. When I started coaching him, his net worth was $100,000, and now it's over $1 million. Everybody see that? Now, why would I say that? Why would I use that as an example?
Social proof.
It's social proof. Because what I'm wondering is, who have you worked with? And who have you helped? And what kind of results did you get? That's what I'm thinking, but you're not telling me. So what I do is I cite social proof. So if I'm selling to an analytical person that wants numbers, I'll say, great. In 2010, a $2.2 billion bank hired me, and they had 43 locations in 38 cities. Now, I was in charge of 500 people. My goal was to get a 43% increase in a 1-year cycle. And in 1 year, we helped them drive a 43% increase. That was 10,645 new accounts in 1 year. See how many numbers I threw at them?
Yeah, I love that.
An analytical person's like, oh, okay, you got those results? Good. We're ready to go. So if you don't have social proof, then you really don't understand. And then at the end is some call to action. And a call to action, I call it a push. It is, I'm pushing you to something. Now, I may say, if this sounds good to you, and if this sounds good to you, what would stop us from moving to the next round with each other? If this sounds good to you, it seems like you like this, would you like to move forward? I may say, out of everything I shared with you, what piqued your interest the most? Okay? So this is a framework to use when you're sharing your story. Does that make sense? Now, if you're recruiting people, like the real estate people that are recruiting people, your pitch needs to be tight. Here's what we believe at our company. Here's why we believe this. Here's what we do. Here's how we do it different than everybody else. Here's some of the success. Notice I gave you social proof about Lakin. Okay, if I could help that young lady do $1 million of gross sales at 25 years old, okay, she's going to make $100,000 a sale. Wouldn't it be nice to be making $100,000 at 25 years old in Murfreesboro, Tennessee? Right? That'd go a long way in Murfreesboro, especially Christiana, Tennessee. Now, here's my point. Why am I doing that? I'm giving you social proof. I'm giving you proof that this could happen, man. This could be, right? So I want to stop right here and break for a second, and then when we come back, we're going to work through this. How many people, I would like to see one person have the guts to get up in front of the group and go through this cycle. And what I'm looking for when you give it is conviction. Like I'm looking for, does this dude really believe what he's telling me he believes? How many of you have ever had a telemarketer call you and you could sense they didn't believe what they were selling? We're trying to sell these timeshares out in Las Vegas. And I'm like, dude, you don't even believe in this, do you? They're like, you're right, I don't. Why? I can feel it. I'm like, you don't believe, like what it is we're transferring our conviction. So when we come back from the break, I'm going to give you a chance to work through this. Now, let's say you're not speaking. Like you got 600 people on your, roughly. Here's the deal. You need to be up in front of your employees. You need to be up in front of your employees or 1099s every day sharing what? This is what we believe, guys. This is what we believe. And this is why we believe it, and this is what we do as a result of our belief. Okay? So this is internal and external. I actually hire people today based on this formula. What if I said to you, I believe in coming in early and staying late? And the first thing you say to me is, or what if you believe in coming in late and leaving early?
Well, I'm not a morning person.
What if I believe we're going to try to exceed the expectation of the consumer, and you believe in barely meeting the expectation of the consumer? You and I don't believe the same things. I actually believe all conflict happens in life when two people don't believe the same things.
Of course.
Everybody see that? I have a belief and you have a belief. It doesn't make me right and you wrong, by the way. We just don't believe the same things. So the people that don't buy your product or services when you speak, or your employees that don't buy in, are really saying either silently or publicly, I don't really believe the same things you do. Everybody understand what I'm saying here? Well, what if I don't even know what you believe? What if I'm like, this is lukewarm. You're lukewarm. Like, that's what I sense when I'm listening to you. No energy. Why would you not have energy, by the way? Right? Because you haven't gone through what? You haven't gone through this. You hadn't gone through the cycle, man. And I'm watching you. You saw Tim Story speak. Did he feel like he had some conviction?
Absolutely.
Okay. Was he clear in what he believed?
Very clear.
Okay, good. Did he inspire you to take some type of action?
That was the last thing he talked about.
Okay. So here's my point. He understands this cycle. Okay, people that don't understand this cycle are never going. You're gonna have a hard time getting people to buy into you. You're gonna have a hard time getting buy-in. I don't care what you're selling, guys. If my employees do not believe the same things I do, we're gonna have conflict. We're gonna have conflict. Okay? If they believe the same things, then we're gonna have harmony, and we're gonna go out and do big things together. That's called moral authority, not formal authority. They believe in me and the mission and the vision and what we're trying to do in the world. Which is why they would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and be on a plane at 5 and go to 11 and still be back at work the next day and never complain about it. My employees never complain. And they work hard. You understand what I'm saying? Because they see this as our mission. It ain't our work. Work is the distribution channel for our talents. See the difference between an occupation versus a vocation? So that's the kind of people I'm trying to attract to me. All in. Body, mind, heart, spirit, all parts of our nature. Okay? Was that a good first session for you?
Yes.
All right, let's take about a 10, 15-minute break, and then we'll come back up and we'll move through this exercise, and then I'd like to see one person with the guts.
I'll do it.
Okay, there we go. Does everybody understand why this is so critical? Why this is so critical to have a formula for any environment that you're in? Now, you're going to be on podcast, because y'all are going to be famous. And you're going to have people want to interview you, and you need a rhythm and a formula that you work through. This is what we believe. This is why we believe it. This is what we do. This is how we do it different. This is success stories of people we're doing it for. It needs to become so automatic to you that you don't have to read it off a thing. Right? Like I was speaking somewhere once, and the guy introducing me was real nervous, and I said, whatever you do, don't walk away from the podium. Just stay behind the podium, introduce me. First thing he did when he got up on stage, walked right in the middle of the stage. And he had notes in his pocket. And he got so nervous that he goes, my name is, and he looked down his notes. And I was like, this has not started off good, okay? And I work at, and then at some point he changed hands. And he was confused because he couldn't find his. He was like, oh man. So here's the deal. He needed this framework, okay? So if you're speaking, so I watched some of your videos, and when you're doing your videos, what I'm interested in is a moment in that video where I go, I line up with this dude. Right? Like Garrett White is a good example. Like the Wake Up Warrior, dude. I saw his stuff over and over, could not resonate with him at all. And then I listened to one podcast that he did, talking about how he was going to be a better father, and how he had been a terrible husband, and how he was improved, and he was now dedicated to being this, and how he's trying to inspire this in other men. And man, I listened to that podcast, I'm like, I like this dude. I went 7 or 8 times with not liking him. And then he got into his core beliefs, and I'm like, I like him. Which now, once I say I like him, what are we one step closer toward? Doing something with him. Buying something from him. Watching him on YouTube more. Like once I decide I like this person, I'm using the word like, let me use a better word, affinity. Once I have an affinity with a person, what I'm really saying is you and I believe the same things. If we believe the same things, then why ain't we doing business with each other? Like right? So, but if I never have that moment, I'm like, just can't get there, man. I can't see myself investing any money in this. I can't see myself doing this because, right? So when I watch speakers speak, I'm never critical of speakers, number one. Okay? People always ask me, will you critique me? And I'm like, no, I'm not critiquing you. I think you asked me that, Milani. And I'm like, here's the deal. I'm not here to critique people. I have my way of doing it. I have a rhythm and way how I do it. I'm not saying it's the right way. You can do it totally different than me and be right. Okay? And I grew up studying Patricia Fripp, and Patricia Fripp has this British accent, and she's very strong, and she coaches speakers. And man, she is brutal. Brutal. Like if your grammar's not correct, if you don't say something right. And so I'm speaking at this Lightspeed Summit in Las Vegas, and I look down, and guess who's sitting on the front row? Patricia Fripp. And I'm like, she is going to have a field day with me. Right? I got this southern accent. I'm sure I don't use grammatically correct, right? And I'm so nervous because she's a legend in the speaking industry. And I got finished, and I had to go to the airport, and I'm walking out, and I look over, and she sees me. Here's what she does. She's like 70 years old. Right here, this tall. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to hammer me. And I walk over to me, and she says, you're the only speaker that connected with every person in that room and made eye contact with every person in that room. Thank you for being a professional. And it was like, oh, thank you. Because I thought she was going to have a field day with me, right? Here's the deal. I didn't have any speaking training. I didn't go through speaker training. I didn't go through Toastmasters. I didn't go through any of the things a lot of people go through, right? So what is it really about? Is it always about the person who is most grammatically correct, who fits politically correct in a box? No, it's about what? Connection. It is about conviction. It is about, can you connect with people? Not just you're the smartest person in the room, but you are a person that can connect. Hawkins, I looked at you when I said smartest person in the room, by the way. But here's the deal. It comes down to connection, right or wrong?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I'm trying to tell you here is you may think, when are we going to get into all that other stuff? If you don't get this part right, there ain't going to be no other stuff. I don't care how many books you write or what other stuff you do, it ain't happening. Everybody understand what I'm telling you here? Yep. Okay? When I spoke at your conference, and the only thing I got is I'm talking to 300 strangers, right? They don't know who I am. They don't know where I come from. They don't know anything about me. They do know Tom Ferry because Tom Ferry's more famous in the real estate world than I am. So when it's me versus Ferry, head to head, I want them going, I like that dude 10 times better than him. That's what I want them walking out of there saying. Because if they like, how many of you believe people don't buy into the message until they buy into the messenger? Absolutely. Okay, first step of any deal is getting buy-in. And the way you get buy-in is connect to people's hearts, not just their minds. Which is why you got to be vulnerable. Which is why you got to tell the whole story, not keep some of the story. Like I can't follow you when you're Superman and you woke up this morning and climbed to the top of Mount Everest, right? And you lost a leg on the way up and you sewed it back on yourself. Like I'm sitting there like, I can't do that. Like I want to know this dude has struggled. This dude has gone through it. This dude has come out of it. Right? Like that's what I want to feel from you. Okay? Now that's my step. So how do we do it? We do it through a formula. And the formula is this. So when you do a podcast, should you go through this formula? Cody, yes or no? Should you go through this formula? Yes, because what are you trying to do? Build affinity. If you got 1,000 people watching the podcast, or Brad, you got people in the audience, they're sitting there making their assessment of you. And what they're trying to figure out is, do I like this dude? Do I connect with this dude? Do I believe the same thing this dude believes? Should me and this dude be in partnership with each other? Okay, now this guy right here saw me speak at 10X. Did you buy anybody's stuff except mine?
Nope.
Okay. Now, how many speakers were at 10X? 36, I think, the year I spoke. Right? He sat there, this dude right here, Grant Doherty, sat there for 2.5 days and listened to pitch after pitch after pitch and didn't buy one person's stuff. Then he heard me speak, and how long did it take you to go buy something?
Not long.
I
ran, actually.
He literally...
You said run.
Right.
I ran.
He literally jumped up out of his seat. We're in a big arena. And he runs to my little station. Okay? I was so unprepared, I had one little dude selling books up there. I had 500 people in line, I had one dude selling books. The people I took with me had to help me sell books. But here's the deal. Here's what happened. He and I lined up on what we believe. And because of that, I'm now coaching his company. Right? Does that make sense? And it all goes back to that moment of connection between he and I. He saw 25 or 26 other people that he didn't have that connection with. Some people connected with Russell Brunson. Some people connected more with Ed Milet. Some people connected with Cardone. Some people connected with whomever. And then I had my little group that connected with me. What were they connecting with? My conviction. Everybody feel that? So we got to get this right. All right, so I've got a few people that have volunteered to go through this formula. Okay, and I'd love for you to get up and go through this and just see how you feel and what kind of rhythm you have. This is an exercise that we're actually will offer workshops on in 2020 because it's a big concept. Just this one concept is big. But some of you have gone through it because I've been coaching you for a while. And this is a version of Tom Love, who created Explanation of Service. This is a version of him, of what he created in this 6-step framework, okay? So who would like to go? Can you sense his conviction? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So let's say I said to him, let's say I said to Daniel, you got 30 seconds to say all of that.
I'm about to go outside for about 10 minutes and come up with it.
Here's the deal.
I can.
Because here's the deal. How long? Right? Here's what I believe. Here's why I believe it. Here's what I do. Now, if we were shortening this, we could put it into 3 steps. Belief, example, action. Everybody see that? 3 steps. Here's my belief. Everybody needs a coach in life. I routinely help people get a 40 to 50% increase in their business. If I could help you, like I've helped them, would you be interested in talking about it? Everybody see that? 3 steps. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? This is 6 steps, but 3 steps is I only got 30 seconds to say it. I got an Instagram post. It's got to be a minute. And I got to be able to say it in a minute on my Instagram post. That's all I got. Okay? So when you think about your core beliefs, a lot of people just have never thought this hard about it. You do have these beliefs, as Daniel said. You just hadn't thought about them.
It's true.
And you have not been able to articulate them. And you haven't been able to share them with that conviction. He can share it because he's had revelation. He's gone conviction. Right? Now he's taking action. Okay? So that's the process. Okay? Now, does anybody have questions about this before we move to the next exercise? Because that's very critical.
I also have 3 books to give away if anybody wants them.
Okay, good. Yep, everybody take a free book, right? Okay, all right. All right.
Free book. What do you
Now, all right.
I believe if it's free, it's for me.
Now, one of the things we're going to talk about tonight, after we dinner, we're going to do a Q&A with Jonathan Hawkins, who I brought in to help me with all of my marketing, and he would tell you to never sell the core offer, right? So this is real important. Okay, if your core offer is that course, and I'm telling you because I just learned this the last 2 days, Milani. Okay. So it ain't like I'm ahead of you that far. Okay, I've been screwing this up for a long time. I think a big mistake we make is we watch somebody that we think is successful, and we say, well, that dude does it. That's what we ought to be doing. Sure. But the reality is we don't know the it of what that dude's doing. There's some psychology behind the way he's doing it, Whether it be Russell Brunson getting you to say yes subconsciously X number of times, whether it be these big time people that pitch. If you don't understand the formula to call to action, then you just want them to buy the product. And sometimes, like if you notice, when I sold this particular event, I personally did 3 free webinars that were hour long in length and coached people with great titles, how to earn 700, how to take every stage and turn it from this to this, how to make over $1 million a year speaking. And we did generate leads from that. Like people would come on and watch the webinar, and then I could say, come to the summit. But there was a few steps I was missing that could have been a lower ticketed thing for them to participate without buying the whole big thing. Does that make sense? Yep. So that's what we'll be talking about tonight. is this concept, okay? Now, this is an exercise you need to do. If you're going to be here over the lodge over the next couple of days, this 6-step framework, you need to get to yourself, and you need to take this very serious. Okay? Do not gloss over this exercise and say, oh, I did it. It's taken me years to get mine down.
Okay.
Like, I want to be known for one thing. I want to be the #1 activator of prey drive in the world. Okay? That's kind of the lane that I picked. Like, this is the #1 dude in the world to get your people to a higher frequency. Because of his coaching background, it's taken me 17 years to figure out what I wanted to be known for. I've written all these books, and I didn't, you understand what I'm saying? So you got to make up your mind. Part of me wants to tell you, pick a lane and be the #1 person in the world at that lane. Now, here's my point, though. Part of me, and we'll get into this, tonight we'll do a thing called greedy questions, and where you could just ask whatever you want to know, but part of me wants to tell you, look, be #1. Let's pick one thing first, and then you can do some of these other things. I'm not telling you not to do them, because you could take the one concept and do what on it? Speak on it, coach on it, train on it, license on it, have an online academy about it. Like, that one thing could be 12 profit centers.
Yeah.
So we got to get clear on this. Now, I'm going to show you something we'll come back to tonight, because a lot of you've written down your core beliefs, I hope. Could you have 100 core beliefs? Yes. I could sit here and roll off beliefs I have all day long. Okay? And this goes a little bit back to Simon Sinek. Don't tell people what you do, tell people what you believe. Okay? And now, I actually disagree with Sinek on one thing. I do not think you have to find your why before you do something big in the world. I think sometimes in pursuit of doing something, you find your purpose finds you. Okay? I get a lot of amens when I say that. Amen. People are going to me say, oh, I'm not a loser then. I thought I had to find my why before I did something. I'm like, no, man, just do something. And then sometimes it'll find you. Okay? So you've done your core beliefs, clarified and write your signature, because all of this is going to be leading to a signature message. Okay? Let's go back to the TED Talk. You got 18 minutes, 6 million people are going to watch it. What is the message? Okay, my first big message was This Ain't No Practice Life. That was a book, that was my 3rd book. So I'm getting a little bit better at writing books by number 3. And I gave that talk, This Ain't No Practice Life, hundreds and hundreds of times. Same talk, same cadence, same jokes, same, right? Now I can ad-lib a lot more now, 17 years into it. But when I first started, I needed to get great at one talk. Does everybody understand that? And I need to give it so many times that I knew when you were going to laugh. I knew when I told this joke, the whole room's going to laugh. And I knew when I hit this. And I knew, based on how I was going, that I could hit it. Okay? And I see some people make this mistake, because they're talking about 17 different things. And I'm like, what are you an expert at? You can't be an expert at everything. Pick a lane and own the space. Be the #1 person for this. Okay? Now, when I say push people to something in the future, this is a little bit about what we're talking about. This is an example of a value ladder. This is an example of a value ladder. The value ladder has different components to it. So you've got these different offerings. Okay? You come in and you can get something for free. Okay, I want you thinking right now, I want you to write down what is the thing that you're going to give away for free. Why would we give things away for free? To get what? Leads. To get leads, get information. We want your information. So to get your information, we got to give you something. So if you don't have something for free, then like YouTube is free for me. Do you know how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of hours people watch my YouTube channel? Now, why is that important? Because that's giving them a chance to figure out what?
They like you.
Yeah. Is there affinity? What if I never pumped out a YouTube video? People are always on me like, you give away too much stuff. You give away too much stuff. Like my sales team tells me, oh, they can watch you on YouTube. And I'm like, I get it, man. But that is the best sales tool we have. If they like me enough, at some point, they will hit that buy button. Yes or no? Yes. Except for the cheap people. They ain't buying nothing from nobody. Here's my point, though. I don't care how much stuff I give away. I give away, give it away, give it away. And then people go, I like this dude. I'm going to come to this. Or I'm going to be part of this. Or I have a product that hits what they need. Remember, we're productizing our business. What do I mean by that? We're selling products versus services. This 2.5 day deal is a product. It's a product. Okay? So what is your free thing? How many of you are not putting out anything on YouTube right now or not putting out enough? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay? You need you listen, that's a big mistake. Now, for the real estate people in the room, you guys saw where I did this event with Ricky Caruth. Ricky Caruth is doing 100+ deals down in Alabama, and he's got one assistant, and that's kind of his. He wants to be known. He wants to be known as the hardest working real estate professional in the country. That's his shtick. So what he does is he don't tell you what he's doing. James, what does he do? He shows you what he's doing. I'm at listing appointment number 1, and now I'm going to number 2, and I'm showing this condo, and I'm meeting with these people, and I just picked up another deal. All day long on Instagram, he is showing you. Now, that dude has built a free coaching program, free. 20,000 agents apparently are in it. I don't know how many are in it. And I'm like, where are you making money, Ricky? Because I know you're making money somewhere if it's free. Right? Y'all are wondering where he's making money, aren't you?
You got really quiet.
Jason, where do you think he's making money?
Referrals?
Okay, how much deal flow do you have when you are frequently communicating with 20,000 people every day? How many deals are coming your way? What about affiliates? What if I tell all 20,000 of those agents to use this CRM? What if I tell them to use this phone system? What if I tell them to do this? Right? What if those affiliates are kicking money back to me every time I say use my program? So it looks like not a smart thing to do. Like I'm going to give my program away for free? No, I'm going to give it away for free so I get 20,000 names. And I've got deal flow coming into me. And I am now pushing those people to things. And I'm now doing things. And right? Like so there is a method to what he's doing. Some people like him, some people don't like him. And I don't get caught up in all that. Like he's got a brand. His brand is I want to be the hardest working dude in the country. And I'm going to show you on Instagram all day long how hard I work. I'm up at 4:30 every morning. I'm in the gym. I'm eating the same scrambled eggs every day. Right? I'm doing this at this time. I'm doing this at this time. Now his belief is that when you see him, you associate, oh, if I have a real estate deal in this area, I want somebody working that hard on my behalf. Everybody see that? That's his belief. Because of his belief, what did he do? Built a coaching program, gave it away for free, goes on Instagram every day and does the deal. Everybody see that? That's his deal. So he's got a free course. What he's talked to me about is he don't know how to do any of this stuff right here. He knows how to do this one. I'm going to give this away for free. What he doesn't have yet is all these things. So you got a $7.99 offer. This is just an example of one. Free book. You've seen everybody do this. Cardone's done it. We're going to give you a book away for free. We're going to give you something for free. It's a book. You pay for the shipping and handling. Why? That initiates the cycle. Initiates the cycle. So what is your $7.99 thing that you could get, that you could give? You need to be thinking about this. What is that? And like we built 150 products. I have 150 products that I built over the last 15 years. We have, so when he talks about splinters, you pick a chapter of a book, free download, ebook, right? One message, one strategy, one accountability call, it's unlimited on what you could say or what you could start this off with if you're just thinking, okay? But most people don't think that way. So to Milani's point, I think like her. Okay, hey, you like me? Buy a $5,000 package from me. Like what? And I think you say it, you don't go for checkmate
On the first move.
on the first move. You don't ask somebody to marry you on the first date. Well, that's what a lot of people are asking. I just saw you speak, and now I like you, but now you take me to the back of the room, and you say I got a $10,000 coaching program, and I just met you, right? Instead of, hey, you like it? Today you can do this for free or whatever, or low ticketed that gets you into the door and gets going. I can't tell you how many times I made this mistake, guys. I have made this mistake so many times when I was speaking. Either trying to sell a $5,000 program or a $10,000, but here's what seduces you. Is sometimes I'll sell a $25,000 program the first time they ever met me. Like this dude right here. First time he met me, he's like, I'm in. I don't even know what I'm signing up for.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like you.
But here's the deal. He liked me. Now, so that seduces you into believing. So then I started thinking, well, I should have 3 offers. Like I should have a low ticket offer. Then I should have like a $3.99 offer. Then I should have a $25,000 offer. What's the problem with that?
The mind is confused and can't make a decision.
Okay, so the mind is confused. So even if you sign up 1 or 2 people, right? Now the short term in me thinks, okay, I'm going to speak at this conference. I'm going to get 4 25K members. That's $100,000 more dollars. I'm going to get X number of people at 5,000. I'm going to get X number of people at that. We're going to make 150,000 bucks. Like, why would we not do this? Like, help me to understand why we would go through this whole value ladder of starting low and trying to get them in there. And your response would be what? So, Jason, when I spoke at your conference, let's say there was 10 total people out of the 300 that took action with me.
And there's way more than that.
That's exactly. There's 300 people there, or 400, 500. 10 of them bought my product or service, you being one of them, right? But here's my point. If I took this route, how many more do I get in the pipeline?
A lot.
Does everybody see that?
Yeah, 50% more.
Okay, now some of you, if you're speaking right now, here's the biggest problem I see that you have. You do not have anything to push them to. Everybody see that? Like there is nothing. Like you got nothing. like all you get is their applause. Okay? And they're like, oh, I love her. Oh, she was so good. Like I would love to do something. Like you need to start thinking, hey, I have coaching programs and online platforms and you're right? Like just the book is so small though to think like. This was my mistake for years. I'd go speak, they'd like it, I'd sell books. And I'd say, hey, it's a good day because we sold $1,000 worth of books. Because that's all I had to sell. Then I started thinking, I need a coaching program. I need something else that they can move to. I need one-day events. I need retreats. I need a whole, what they would call a product suite. Everybody understand? Because I didn't have a product suite. How many of you do not have a product suite right now? Okay, so that's look at how important this is. How much money are you losing? If you get on that stage and they love you, it don't matter because you ain't got anything else for them to get. That's it. If you want to take a stage and turn it into $150,000, you got to have something else to sell. Okay? That's just all there is to this. So you got to decide what is it going to be. So notice we've been doing the value ladder like this. People come in at a low price. And I'll show you what mine is, $7.99, $99, $4.99, and then $5,000. And we do sell high-ticketed items. A lot of our retreats are high-ticketed items, or what would be considered high-ticketed, 5,000 bucks. So it can be sold. Okay? Now, so I want you thinking here. This is an example of some of the things I've done. Okay? And I want you thinking from this group, what are you missing? What are you missing? Okay? So number 1, YouTube video or webinars. Number 2, push to something. Low cost. Book, download, ebook. Do you know that when I went to $10 books, I was selling my books for 20 bucks. Okay? I came in one day, said put them all at 10. Guess what happened? Completely sold out of everything. We can't keep inventory. When I speak, I was selling them at 20, and a person wouldn't buy them at 20. But when I moved them to 10, they would buy 5 books at $10 versus 1 book for 20. Craziest things in the world. So here's the point. So then I increased my book sales. Now, what do I care? Well, here's what you got to come to. Unless you sell millions of copies of books, that's not going to be a money maker for you. You do realize that, right? You need to get your mind around. Unless you sell millions of books, you ain't making a lot of money with books.
Like you call it a business card.
It is a business card. So the book is a business card, the new business card, which is why you need one. Okay, and I'm going to show you over the next couple of days how I can write a book in a day and have it out in 30 days. One day. I can write a book, the smaller ones. No, it's not War and Peace, but it's a smaller one. And I can pump that puppy out and have it to give you or sell to you within 30 to 60 days in today's world. Okay? Now, when you're thinking about this, so my point is, would you rather do $250,000 in product sales and have that book in everybody's hands, or would you rather be stubborn and sell it at a high price point and get it in a few people's hands? Especially if you now understand the psychology, is the book is just a way for you and I to connect with each other. That's all it is. So we gave you the book as part of this deal. Why? That's where the world's going. I give it to you. I don't sell it to you. I give it to you. Okay? Now, low ticketed. This is something we did this past year. Probably added $200,000 to our top line. Is I did one-day intensives here at this lodge where we sold tickets for $199, and our goal was to sell 50 tickets at each one. Now, what's the real sale there? So we get 50 people to the lodge at $299 typically. That's how much? $15,000. So we generate $15,000 of revenue for a day at the lodge, but that ain't where the real money's made. Where's the real money made? That's right. The real money's made when a person's sitting right here and goes, boy, I like this.
Yep.
I'd like to sign up for a bigger coaching program. Yep. And we take a $15,000 day and turn it into a $100,000 day. Because the next thing you know, 7 of the people out of the 50 that came said, I'd like to do this, 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 I'd like to do this. The biggest contract I have ever signed happened because the owners of the company came here to the lodge. I was only coaching the owners. And they came here to the lodge and spent 2 days with me. And they came to me and said, you're our guy. We want you coaching our whole company.
Didn't you say it was like 7 people there at that time? It was like a low show up?
Yeah, yes. So it don't matter. You never know who's going to be in the audience.
Yeah.
So my point to you is, if you're not doing these things, like if I don't know you that well, and you're trying to get me to something, like $199 or $299 is not that big a deal. If you saw what I did the other day, like I do, 2 for 1s or whatever the case. What's your thoughts about the 2 for 1s? Or is that perceived value or is that lowering the value?
Lowering the value.
Okay. Sometimes I like you and sometimes I don't. No, my point is, what he's telling you is that's lowering the value. So instead of offering 2 for 1, what would you offer instead?
I have a whole methodology on this. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, good. Save that for later.
I would never do the bundle in the beginning.
Okay, all right. Now, and we're going to get into the bundle in just a second. What he's saying is don't leave with the bundle. There's a place for the bundle, but not yet. All right, how many people are doing one-day events right now? Okay, and you should be doing more, in my opinion, more of these because it gives people a chance to spend what? More time with you. And by the way, if you're speaking at a conference, you need to plan to stay 1 or 2 or 3 days at the conference. Why? Have dinner with people. Let them get to know you. This is a big mistake I made for years. I go in and speak for an hour, and I was out of there. I didn't talk to anybody. I signed books. Right? Like I didn't do anything. I'm like, man, okay, this is good. They paid me my speaking fee. Big mistake. What you should be, so now all of my speaking contracts say this. Coach Burt would like to do a VIP dinner with your people. With your top paying people at the conference. He'd like to do a special something for them. Okay? And it says he would like to do, if there's a social event, he'd like to be at that with you. He'd like to have dinner with the people putting the conference on. Like my contracts now say that. Because I understand the importance of spending time with people. Everybody see that? Sure. Because what if I see you and I like you, but there's 17 more speakers after you? You forget. Like I like what Terry did at Tab, is every day at his real estate retreat in Mexico, is the attendees got to pick and have lunch with one of the speakers.
Oh, wow.
Which was a really good thing because they could spend an hour asking questions and talking. And to me, that's a deep value. You may think about that. So if you're putting on conferences, that's another thing is you get to spend time with that person outside of the deal. Okay? So just remember that. Now, also, upsell one-time ticket price. Now, this has typically been $399 a month or $5,000 a year. This program right here. In the month of November, I said, let's run a promotion and let's do it at $997 for a year. Let's give them a whole year's worth of coaching for $997. What do you think the outcome of that has been?
Dramatic increase of people getting in.
I think we can sell 20 a day. Do the math on 20 a day times 5 days a week. How much is it?
5.
Okay. We got different numbers here. Do y'all know math or not? Okay, 20,000 a day times 5 is 100,000 a week. 100,000 a week times 4, 400,000 a month times 12. Right? Okay, is it 4.8 million? Somewhere. It's several $1 million.
Almost 5.
Okay, all right. Now, here's my point. Here's my point. This one decision could result in $3 or $4 million more dollars. Does everybody understand what I'm telling you here? So I'm conflicted because I do not want to lower the value of my services. But I also know the number of people who see $400 a month as a car payment who will never spend $5,000 on themselves versus the number of people who will spend $997 on themselves. Everybody see that? Now, here's the beauty of that. We collect the money up front. There is no collections. There is no credit cards. There is no recurring payment. It's an infusion of cash, capital into the business. So I'm getting away from payment plans. I'm getting away from people paying on a monthly basis. I'm trying to say, here, we need the money. We're going to deliver the service, but we need the money up front. I was in a coaching program, and you didn't get coached until you paid. Peter and I were in the same program, strategic coach. So they do a deposit at the point of, to secure your spot. It's $5,000 or $6,000 at one level, and they do a $500 deposit. They give you an incentive to do it, and then you have to pay everything in full before you go to get coached. And here was his philosophy. You can never go bankrupt if you don't have receivables. Right? You never go bankrupt if you collect the money up front. So if you're building your coaching program, some of y'all are thinking, what? I want to charge monthly. When you get into charging monthly at a high level, you're going to have a lot of declined credit cards. You're going to be in the collection business. You're going to be trying to collect money. And that ain't fun, okay? So what is this is actually my core product right here. Monster Producer is my core product. My core offering that I'm making. Now, then we have retreat packages, okay? And I do retreats in 3 ways. So you need to write this down. I do day and a half with a VIP dinner. So Thursday night dinner for VIPs. All day Friday. That's one package. I do 1 day intensives, which is a full day. And then I do long form retreats, which would be 2.5 days. Thursday, we have dinner Thursday night, all day Friday. We have dinner Friday night, sometimes most of the day on Saturday. We can charge more money for those retreats. Typically, I do those at our house in Florida because people are flying all the way down to Florida and they stay at the house with us and we stay longer with each other, okay? That's a higher ticket deal. So what's your version of this, okay? Then upgrade to private custom coaching levels. I really consider my higher levels more custom coaching, meaning they get more access to me, that they get access to other people. They're part of a kind of this tribe or community. So I currently have a $25,000 level, a $40,000 level, a $60,000 level, and a $100,000 level of coaching. Everybody see that? So I believe I could offer a $500,000 level and somebody would pay it. I believe I could offer a $1 million level and somebody would pay it. If I could prove to them that I could help them make $5 million, then they wouldn't mind giving me $1 million. Now, here's my point to you. If you only got one little option, and this is all I can do, see what we're missing here? See what we're missing? Okay? Now, where's the big money at the end of the day? It's not selling to individuals, it's selling to companies. Everybody see that? When you're speaking, coaching, training, leading, it's not selling to individuals. It's selling to companies. Companies are more stable. They have more money allocated. They're not up and down. Like, to me, that is where the big money is. So if you don't have a corporate division of your company that sells to companies, like these are the big contracts I have with companies that are bringing me in to drive some kind of result. Okay? And I'm going to actually show you how I just structure one for a car dealership in Texas that we're trying to close on. We may have closed it today, where I'll show you how I structure a deal and give them options for the corporate coaching. Okay? All right, now I want to stop right there, and I want you to tell the people at your table, out of this piece, that I just showed you, out of this piece, what are you missing? Where are your current missing structures? Some of y'all thinking the whole ladder. Hey, good thing you're at this summit.
My ladder's still in my garage.
Yeah. Take a second right now and tell them what you're missing and what you're going to build here.